we're back, and we are speaking with James Timer today, and he is the president, owner, and architect of Trilogy Architecture. And you may have seen some of his buildings around town, and he really focuses on green, being green. So kind of goes with the theme for today.
Yep.
So James, thank you so much for coming on. It's so nice to meet you. You're such a great little personality and stuff. So tell us a little bit about what we could have seen around town that you've done before.
Well, probably most people think about Reading School of the Arts, the charter school that we recently completed. We've done the Cascade Theater. Most people would be surprised to know that we actually designed the Arboretum, which is a garden, which is odd for an architect to do.
Yes, but it's beautiful, just like RSA and Cascade.
So those are a couple of the projects that we've worked
He's
on.
very modest.
He
but
is.
You must know, he is like world renowned in the field of environmental or green design. And there's a thing called the LEED certification exam, and it's an environmental certification that's worldwide. And James designed with Reading School of the Arts. It became the first or second school in the state.
Actually, it was the first school in the world to be certified for LEED.
Wow.
For LEED Platinum.
LEED Platinum, which of course is the top of the top. And what that means is it's making an incredibly tiny mark on footprint. It's environmental footprint. What's the technical term?
Carbon footprint.
Carbon footprint is very small. And you know, my kids are there at Reading School of the Arts, and we love it because not only is the school amazing, the teachers and so forth, but the building reinforces the whole lesson of being good stewards of this earth.
Exactly, and that's what I think is the biggest thing, is you're teaching the children that.
Right. Yeah. So James is really well known in this field. Yeah. So how did you move from basic architecture, if you will, into environmental architecture? Is that a term? Did we just create it?
No, no, that's true. But into it, I think that I grew up in the '70s, and so I was telling my mother how to recycle bottles. 13 years old.
In New Jersey?
In New Jersey.
Really? That's interesting.
And she still tells me that I told her that. So it was a lesson learned.
Yeah.
And, ever since I've been in architecture, it's always been important to me to deal with environmental issues on a very basic level, as well as it just wasn't always the thing that was accepted by the people that were our clients.
Right. So how do you, now you're in Reading, we're just bringing it back to where we are, we're in Reading. So how are people's reactions to your architecture here? Because not that Reading isn't open to environmental, but how is the response?
Well, it's changed. In the early 90s, we would talk about it with prospective clients, and they would say, well, it sounds like a great idea, but it sounds like it would cost a lot of money. And so we said, no, we're talking about putting an overhang on a roof so the sun doesn't go through your windows. It's good design, not expensive design. Well, we did it. We like to say laughingly, really, that we were green before it was cool.
Exactly.
But
well,
then
you were.
Suddenly, in probably the last 7 years, our clients started coming to us and saying, some of them the same clients we'd had, do you know anything about green architecture? And I'd say, as a matter of fact, I can help you. So it's actually become something that's become a bigger deal. Still in this area, it's still something you have to sell. And we like to think of ourselves as nags.
Really?
We are the only architect I know of in this area that is part of the 2030 commitment that the American Institute of Architects does. And that says our job is to make sure every project we do is environmentally sensitive. And what that means is every time someone comes to us, even if it's for a car dealership, we nag them.
Right,
you want to be green? And they go, well, I don't know if I want to be green. Yes, you do. So we push really hard.
Sure, and you say this is how you can do it, and it'll still look great, it'll still function really well, and it's within your budget. So now, most of us would love to come to you and have you design a brand new home.
Yes.
But many of us can't.
I've heard that before.
Once or
twice. We don't think we can.
What are things we could do in our daily life that would generate,
often
green?
people do come, especially it usually comes to what can I do in my home.
Yeah, exactly.
And usually what we say, even when we're starting from scratch, we say, they say, can we put solar panels and electrically operating windows? And we say, what you can do is good insulation. and they get kind of like, well, that's not very exciting.
I know, yeah, it's
not
not.
sexy
It's
at all.
not, yeah.
But that's where you.
Installation.
But that's where you start.
Okay.
Good insulation, roof overhangs. Here's a stunner: windows that open. We went through a whole period in American architecture in the '60s where, the single worst invention of the 20th century has been said from an environmental standpoint to be air conditioning. Because it meant we
really?
didn't have to worry about our environment anymore. So, but I have air conditioning.
We all have air conditioning.
It's just
I'd be
really
very
efficient.
surprised.
It's just really efficient.
The idea is
exactly.
to open your windows and let the cool air in the morning and the evenings. And it's funny because our house was built in '53, and it's all glass. It's
Yeah.
a very modern, but most of them are fixed glass.
Yes.
And my daughter and son's rooms, their windows
Do not
they're
open.
fixed glass. I mean,
Yeah.
that's on our list this year, is to get an opening window in there, because I like to live with my windows open.
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing now, I mean, and we'll be a little off topic, but the first thing I thought of is I would never sleep with my windows open just because, I mean.
Safety.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it seems like it could have a safety issue. But I liked what you said about in the morning.
Morning and evening,
Open
let
your
it
windows.
cool it off.
Yeah.
And, keep it cool in the day, right?
So it's a stunning thing. Good insulation and energy efficient windows.
Yes.
That's where you start.
Okay,
That's a good
wow.
starting spot. So what do you have coming up? I mean, you have all these exciting projects all over the globe. What can you tell us about?
Well, what we're really excited about, but it's also a little disappointing at the same time, is that we talked about Reading School of the Arts being, well, it was the first LEED certified school in the North State. We did the first LEED certified medical facility in the North State. We are currently finishing our first and starting construction on our second LEED certified homes in the North State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what that tells me is that there's still a lot of
Long way
work
to
to
go,
happen.
yeah.
Tell us about like a private home to become LEED certified. Is it an upcharge? Is there a surcharge? What's
So not to get too technical, but there's a new code called the California Green Code.
Oh, wow.
So we're one of the greenest states, maybe the greenest state in the nation, and we have a code. So what most people don't know is that if you just meet the building code to build your new building, you're already probably 3/4 of the way to being certified.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the other thing is we tell people if you're efficient with your energy, your payback now is you're going to save money over the long term.
Right.
It's good economic sense.
So what would be one of the main differences you're creating that's LEED certified and a regular home now, since we're that close? Where's the difference?
Probably
there?
a little bit more efficient in the heating and cooling.
And is that
and you
from the
have to have-
insulation or is that from
No,
solar
it can be
panels?
from the efficiency of the mechanical units, the heating and cooling units, the air
Okay,
conditioning. The
yeah,
heating. That's one
okay.
of the big ones. A little bit higher quality window, things like
Yeah.
that. It's not stunning, but there's another part to this whole environmental
Yeah.
thing. I say it all the time till people who know me get really tired of hearing it. But one of my favorite quotes comes from a gentleman, Van Jones, who is an environmental activist. And he said, I hope, and I feel this way, that someday we're not talking about green. I don't even like the term.
Yeah.
I hope that we someday just talk about architecture that's normal, and then those toxic buildings we used to do in the late 20th century. See, why are we talking about green now? I mean, that's like it's special.
Right.
It shouldn't be special.
Well, I kind of feel like you've taken the lead on that with downtown. That's kind of one of your passions.
It is.
So can you tell us a little bit about your vision for downtown, or how you would like to see it, some of the things you've done already?
Well, downtown is a passion. I think we can be, as far as green is concerned, we should be a green downtown, and that doesn't mean parks, although
Right.
parks would be great.
Parks would be
I
great.
think we need to be, we have a great opportunity. Think about it. Environmental means walking instead of riding in a car, right? It means things being close together so that you're not using so much energy.
Yeah.
So downtowns are designed to be green, but
That's true.
the emphasis has not been there, and now we have an opportunity, I think, for the first time, since we're feeling a little bit of a more positive economically, in our right now. It's
Yeah.
starting to come out of that
Yeah.
dark ages. Now we have a chance to make that happen. So everything we do, I mean, we've done You know, we've done Library Park, and we took the roof off the mall. Yay.
Yay.
Okay. Which people
Yay.
were not all happy about.
Do you remember that in 2000 when we sat in that meeting in the
That's true.
Cascade?
That's absolutely right.
We were
Yes.
talking about how do we get the roof off the mall?
And they said we
now
couldn't
it
do it.
happened. And
So-
now it happened.
So I mean, it's kind of strange to be proud of the thing you demolished. That's the way it is.
But now it's a nice walking area.
Yeah,
if you
it
come
is,
down
and it's
there.
open.
We need businesses down there. So
I've never seen
to
it
support
closed. I wasn't here during that time, so I can't even
okay.
imagine a
You
roof
didn't
over
miss.
it
It's
now.
Yeah,
okay.
you missed a 70s mall.
But it can get. But we have tremendous opportunity
Yeah.
to improve, right?
Yeah. The whole field of architecture is just changing. Say to somebody who's interested in the field of architecture.
Well, we actually do mentoring for students in high school because I always felt I wished that I had known some of the things I know now. So I would say to anyone who's interested in architecture, don't do often what people think you should do, which means don't worry about whether you can draw or not.
Right.
Make sure and don't worry if you're even that great in math. That's what calculators and computers are for, although there are a lot of math teachers that will hate me for saying that. Be good in English. English teachers love me because English,
Really?
yes, if you can create a great design but you can't speak about it, you will never be able to
Right,
do
if you
the
can't
design.
articulate your
So
thoughts.
I say English is the most important subject.
I love that.
Yeah, and I agree with that for a lot of things,
I
actually.
think it's true for a lot of
Yeah,
people.
your writing and your speaking ability. Nowadays, Christy, I mean, this is
Yeah.
her expertise.
Yeah.
But on the
Public speaker.
internet now,
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of where things are going. If you can't write your thoughts and you can't speak your thoughts, you really can't get your message across.
No.
To the, to the world.
Architecture, as my wife likes to say, architecture is the best hobby you could possibly have.
But you've
It's
made
a-
it a business.
Yes.
It's a lot of,
made
but
a successful business.
I'm
Made a
still
very
passionate
successful
about
business.
it now.
You can tell you're passionate, and you can that's been to benefit of all of us.
Yeah.
Right? We're so thankful. So thanks, James,
You're
for
welcome.
coming on.
You're
I've
welcome.
wanted to have you on since we started. So thanks for watching. What a great show. Be sure to check out the website for all the details, and we'll see you next time on The Forum.